Hello class 10. So today we are going to start lesson number 5, factors leading to the formation of Muslim League. We have already discussed that after the revolt of 1857, when the Government of India Act 1858 has been passed, the Britishers they decided to open up with a new policy that is called the divide and rule policy. Now what is the divide and rule policy? It is basically dividing the people on the basis of religion, on the basis of language, on the basis of culture, so that they will be busy among themselves fighting and they will not focus over one issue or they will not focus over nationalism. So you all know that India is a land of diversity. The people belongs to various religion, various language would stay together unitedly. When the Britishers came in our country, they basically focused over the various issues. So with the coming of the 19th century, when along with the rise of nationalism, the communalism also became a new trend in the society. Now why the communalism rise? Communalism is dividing people on the basis of religion. The divide and rule policy followed by the Britishers. Dividing the Bengal into on the basis of language as well as on the basis of the religion. The partition of Bengal by Lord Curzon. Urdu was been appointed as an official language of the Muslims. So Britishers they followed this separatist trend in Indian politics by encouraging communal policy of divide and rule. How they divided? They encouraged the Urdu as an official language for the Muslims, whereas Hindi as an official language for the Hindus. So linguistically also they have divided the Indians. INC, that is the Indian National Congress, it is labelled as a Hindu organization. Division of history into religious bases. So Britishers they divided history on the basis of ancient and medieval. So they always said that ancient is related to the Hindu age, whereas medieval is related to the Muslim age. So the invasion of Turks is been divided as the Muslim invaders. The purpose was to keep the Indians busy in fight on communal basis and not to let them to be united against the Britishers. So whatever happened in 1857, where the Hindus and Muslims they unitedly fought against the Britishers, and it came up as a big kind of revolt. So Britishers they were fearful that if they will be together, then it will not easy for us to rule over in India, and it will take us less time to be in India and we can exploit them. So that's why they start using the divide and rule policy. So they sowed the seed of divide and rule policy in the communal trend, and it gave them fruit in the form of the formation of Muslim League and the division of country in 1947. So you can see here, basically if we speak in Hindi, the divide and rule policy is फूट डालो और सत्ता हथिया. You know, religion के बेस पे बहुत सारे डिवीजन किए जाते हैं, जाति के बेस पे किए जाते हैं. So Britishers also saw that in spite like they are going at one trend of nationalism. So how to then let them divided or diverted? So they adopted the policy of divide. So we will first read about the Sir Syed Ahmad Khan and Aligarh movement. So this is the picture of Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. So Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, he was basically a progressive nationalist. Earlier he referred Hindus and Muslims as the two eyes of the beautiful bride that was India. So earlier Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, he was also a promoter of Hindus. He was related to Hindus. That's why he has given the statement that Hindus or the Muslims, they both are the two beautiful eyes of a bride, and without one of them the bride can't look beautiful. But later on in the 19th century, when he was also influenced by the Britishers, he was completely changed man. He advised Muslims not to join Indian National Congress. He asked them that Indian National Congress is a Hindu organization and they will not focus over our interest. So do not to join this organization. He founded himself the Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental College in 1875, which presently called the Aligarh Muslim University. So Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental College basically focused over the Muslim teachings to the Muslims, because the Banaras Hindu University was formed by the Madan Mohan Malviya, so he also created his own university. His main objective to establish the college were to popularize the scientific and Western learning among the Muslims, as the Muslims are the people who are more backward. So he wanted Muslims should also come par with the Hindus. So he basically popularized the scientific and Western learning among the Muslims and promote loyalty among the rulers. And now who are the rulers? The Britishers, and win their favor. So he said that the interest of the Muslims can only be fulfilled after we will be loyal towards the Britishers. They can provide a favor to us. The college, Aligarh Muslim University, popular known as Aligarh Movement, and theme was loyalty, approval and support of the government. So Aligarh Muslim University, formed by the Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, it turned to be a movement which basically focused over showing loyalty of the Muslim towards the government, towards the Britishers, approval from them and support from them. So we can say the policy adopted by the Britishers, it is showing its effect in the form of that it turned a person like Sir Syed Ahmad Khan towards to form an organization, a separate organization for the Muslims. Now please note down this point that whatever I am showing in this slide, that only topics you are going to read from your book. Other whatever you are having in your book, you can just slightly cut because it is not in. Now what are the factors that led to the formation of the Muslim League as an organization for the Muslims? If we talk about the first one, in 1893, Muslims asked for the separate representation of Muslims in the Central Legislative Council. So earlier it was the Indians, they are asking a number of the representation in the Legislative Council, but now Muslim in 1893 they said that we are not worried about the Hindus, but please provide a separate seats for us in the legislative assemblies for the Muslims. So now in the politics also it has been entered. The Hindu-Urdu controversy. Now what is the Hindu-Urdu controversy? So earlier in UP, the petitions, the paperwork or the official work was carried out only in Urdu and could be submitted to the offices only in Urdu language and courts also. But Hindus, they protested and they said that Hindu population is also there, so why only Urdu? Why can't Hindi be accepted as a language for writing the petitions and the paper and the courts? So because of their protest result in 1900, the government started accepting the petitions written in Hindi also. This led a controversy among the Hindu and Muslims. Now Muslims angered who called the protest meetings in different parts, they were so angry, so they called the protest meeting all over the parts of the provinces. The Hindus also held the meetings to meet the challenge, the controversy. It became more worse, the relations between the two communities became more worse. So Urdu was acceptable as official language, Hindu asked for the Hindi, Hindi was also accepted as official language, both the languages was accepted as official language. But the Muslims were like, why the Hindus, they asked for the Hindi language when Urdu was already there. So in that way, it created a controversy, it created a kind of condition in which they both start hating each other. The Aligarh politics. After the death of the Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, who formed the Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental College, which turned to be Aligarh Muslim University, in 1898, Nawab Mohsin ul Mulk, he led the Aligarh movement and he criticized when the Hindu gave equal status of Urdu in UP. Okay? So this person, he criticized that why the Hindi was given same status in the Uttar Pradesh area as that of Urdu. But government put his demands down. They said no, we will accept Hindi also as an official language for the writing of petitions. This led the Muslim to ask for a separate political organization. So they thought that the Hindus, they can say anything through the International Congress and we don't have any say. We are singly as a person speaking and nobody is putting any heat on us. So we should also have a separate organization. The anti-partition movement. So Muslim actively they participated in the anti-partition movement of Bengal, but British won over Nawab. So when the partition of Bengal was happened, at the time the Muslims and the Hindus both protested against the partition, that came to known as anti-partition. They want the partition should be called back. But what happened, Britishers, they played very smart. They had a talk with Nawab Salimullah Khan of Dhaka, and in that way they won over the Nawab and make him realize that see, we are for the good of the Muslims and we will look after the interests, and different thing he put into his mind, and because of that the Nawab Salimullah Khan, he was ready and he secured the support of the Muslims to form a separate state for them. So they said, see, why we created the East Bengal for you, so that you should have a separate state, you should look after your people, your interests. Hindus will not look after you. So the anti-partition movement was turned from side of the Muslims on the efforts of the Muslims, so on the efforts of the Britishers. So these are the factors led to the formation of the Muslims. Now the Morley-Minto reforms of 1909. So there was one constitutional reform which was carried forward in 1909 that came to known as Morley-Minto reforms, because Lord Morley and Lord Minto, they are the people who are bringing these reforms. Now what basically Morley-Minto reforms were included. So the Morley-Minto reforms, obviously it is having so many other things, so many points are there, but why it become famous? Because it provided for the separate representation of the Muslim community. So earlier the Muslims were demanding and government was not accepting, but now the government has also accepted by passing the Morley-Minto reforms, by bringing the Morley-Minto reforms, in which they have given a separate representations to the Muslims in the imperial legislative councils as well as provincial councils. So now the Muslims are getting a separate seat as comparison to the Hindus. So it was directly coming towards to form an organization. Now Muslims would vote for the Muslim candidates and the Hindus for the Hindu candidate. In that way the vote was also being divided. This struck a fatal blow at the unity of India, because earlier everybody is voting for the person who is eligible to look after their interests, but now the people have to vote on the basis of communal trend, that is on the basis of a religion. So Morley-Minto reform has, we can say, bring a stamp over the issues of the Muslims to form a new organization. Slowly and steadily the provisions of Morley-Minto reforms led to the partition of country in 1947. The formation of Muslim League. In December 1906, the delegates from various provinces had assembled in Dhaka. Dhaka is the present capital of Bangladesh. Earlier, Bangladesh was also part of India. So in 1906, the delegates, the members from the various provinces, Muslim members, they assembled in Dhaka in educationalist, in the, we can say, the presidentship of educationalist Nawab Salimullah Khan. Conference took place and conference took place and it took advantage of this occasion. He proposed to form a central organization to look interest of the Muslims. So Nawab Salimullah Khan, he was head at that time, so all the delegates, they met in 1906 in Dhaka. So he thought that this is the best occasion and he proposed the proposal of forming a separate organization for the Muslim. This was accepted by the Muslims. So the proposal was accepted and the All India Muslim League was formally founded on 30th of December 1906 at Dhaka, presided by Nawab Salimullah Khan. So in that way, in 1906, the Muslim League was founded, which basically worked for the interest of the Muslims, to look after the works of the Muslims. What are the aims and objectives of the Muslim League? The first aim of Muslim League, basically they focus over the three aims. First is to promote among Indian Muslims feeling of loyalty towards the British government. Second, to promote or to protect or to protect the political and other rights of Muslims, to prevent the rise of any feelings of hostility between Muslims and other communities without affecting the objectives of League. Though just first and second point were accepted or we can say implemented by the Muslim League, not the third one, because obviously this organization was created to form their own interests. So this feeling of hostility already Muslims do have against the Hindus. So they basically formed this organization. They put these 3 points, but they focus on first 2 points, that they basically work for the political and other rights of Muslims, to bring the Muslims the feeling of loyalty towards the British government, because they has feeded this into the Muslims' minds that it is the Britishers who can give them rights, who can provide them various facilities. So these are the aims and objectives of Muslim League, and you can see here this is the picture of the first meeting of the Muslim League, All India Muslim League in 1906. That's all about this chapter. I hope you understood. Kindly please make the notes. If you not understood, please bring your queries in the Zoom class. Thank you so much, class.